It's a beautiful day in the Gayborhood, a beautiful day to welcome to our flaming microphones Mike Thompson, the CEO of the LGBT Community Center of the Desert. Hey, Mike, how are you?
Hey, John, I'm great. How about yourself?
Wonderful. Thanks for joining Brad and I on K-Gay. And you have a major announcement.
Well, first, let me thank both of you. I appreciate the invitation to be here. Good to see you. And I appreciate the support, not only that you give to the center, but our overall community. You are a great platform for folks to look to for all the feel-good things, but all the important things that we need to know to be in community. So thank you very much. The last couple of weeks have been rough, right? And so we've all been trying to find our footing amidst, you know, what has been kind of hoped deferred, right? I think I remember hearing, I think it might even be a scripture, hope deferred makes the heart sick.
Hmm.
And I think that's what so many of us are experiencing is that sickness that comes from not only hope lost, but what we see on the horizon as very real threats to our community.
We had such a high going because we were coming
Yeah.
off of Pride, the energized campaign of Kamala Harris. We had hopium. We were
Yes,
all hopped up on hopium.
we were, and so that added to the kick in the gut that came the day after the election, or even that night as we watched the returns come in, and what we've seen at the center. And I know Dr. Jill Hingston was here a couple of weeks ago to talk about our post-election drop-in therapy groups, which that week after the election were wildly attended. And in
Yeah.
fact, we've continued those. We now have those twice a week, Mondays at 4 o'clock and Fridays at noon. Last Friday, we had 18 folks drop in just to continue to process what they're feeling as a result. And so, it wasn't long after the election, Brad and I had a conversation, not unlike many conversations that I had, and people looking to the center about, well, what are you going to do? And, my response to Brad and to many folks and to myself was sit with it for a bit.
Mm.
We just need to sit with the emotions that we're all experiencing and find a way to sort through those and then land. And then once we kind of ground, then we need to work to find our way forward. And so, one of the things that I talk about in our work at the center is let's not confuse proximity with community. Oftentimes, we forget that just because we might live in the same zip code or the same part of the valley, that doesn't necessarily mean we're in community with each other. And so, we've got to be intentional, especially now, about creating and being in and caring for community. And the first thing we're going to talk about that we're announcing this morning is two community convenings. The first will happen next Monday evening from 5 to 6:30, and that one is entitled Building Resilience. We as a community, in order to find our way forward, have to be reminded of who we are, what we need personally to be resilient, and what we need as a community to be resilient, because it's in our community's DNA. You go back through Stonewall, Don't Ask, Don't Tell, the elections in 2004 when marriage amendments were on the ballot across the country, right? And then the fight for marriage equality since then, the AIDS epidemic, right? All of this, we know how to be a resilient community. So we need to be reminded of that. And so that's what we'll be focusing on next Monday evening for a 90-minute session. Much of it will be done in small groups with the intention of truly building community and working toward resilience. And then in January, on Monday the 13th, from 5 to 6:30, our partners at Equality California will be joining us, and we're going to go from resilience to action. What's on the horizon? What do we need to be doing as a community? How do we effectively engage and activate to fight what we know is coming our way? And more importantly, how do we care for ourselves and each other along the way? So that's what our plans are. We're excited to gather community, build and strengthen this community so that we can prepare ourselves for what's ahead.
Building Resilience is going to be happening Monday, the 25th, and it's happening at the Palm Springs Pavilion. And for
Yes,
people that don't know where that is, that's,
that's
Sunrise and Tockwitz. It's where the public library area is. You won't miss it. There's going to be a lot of your Gaybers out there on Monday, November 25th, Building Resilience. It's basically a community meeting.
it really is about coming together as a community, finding the strength in community first. And we believe that building resilience is going to help us do that.
Thank you, Mike. We really appreciate you coming
Yeah.
on and telling us about this. And of course, we'll have this all over our Gay Desert Guide events calendars. We'll be talking about it. You'll see it on social media. And again, we really appreciate you coming on and talking to the Gayborhood today.
Thank you both. We appreciate it. I'm glad to be in the Gayborhood with you today and every day.
Hey, it's John Taylor. Thanks for watching our video. And don't forget to like and subscribe to our K-Gay channel so you won't miss anything going on in the Gayborhood. And you can always listen live to kgaypalmsprings.com.